Welcome to Shaq's house. That's our Shaq. You're now in Shaq's house.
What's up, Shaq Houses? How y'all doing? It's your boy Shaq House here. Hope your week went well. Mine's going well as well too. To all my YouTube subscribers and the ones that keep coming in, thank you. You're just coming in, checking out my content, going back and forth with me. It's fun. It's fun to engage with comic book readers that have knowledge just like me. Thank you. And thank you for subscribing. Spread the word about my page. Spread the word about my channel because I got a lot of mo for y'all. For this week, what we're going to be doing is comparing Sage, aka Tessa from the X-Men, against fan favorite villain, the Taskmaster. Yeah. We're going to be comparing that, and I expect a lot of y'all to argue with me back and forth considering how popular the Taskmaster is. Yeah. Also, and this is a shameless plug, check out check out in the description below my two other podcasts. The 301 Colored Commentators, where me and my friend Anthony, we're two black guys from the state of Maryland, comment on pop culture, music, and TV shows. And also the Victory Formation Lounge podcast, where me and 5 other football fans, we just debate and talk shit about each other's teams and big up our own teams, etc. Check those out in the comments below. But for right now, Sage and the Taskmaster. Get it!
Tessa first appeared as a dutiful assistant of Sebastian Shaw, the Black King of the Hellfire Club. She was compiling information for him into comprehensive reports and occasionally using her powers against Hellfire Club enemies. It was still decades after her first appearance until she officially joined the X-Men on one of their active rosters in X-Men Volume 2, Issue 109, taking the codename Sage. A retcon later explained, shortly after, that Tessa was actually recruited by Xavier around the time that he recruited the original X-Men. He sent her to be a spy for him within the Hellfire Club, to keep track of them, and he kept her double agent identity a secret from the rest of the team. So technically, she was a member of the original X-Men, only nobody knew it, except for her and Xavier. Currently, she is an integral part of the Mutant Island nation of Krakoa, as a data gatherer and multitasking coordinator for the Krakoan population and its technology. The Taskmaster, created by David Michelinie and the late George Perez, was introduced in the pages of Avengers and is usually a fan favorite villain. In other pop culture areas, Highlander actor Clancy Brown, he voiced the Taskmaster in the animated Ultimate Spider-Man series on Disney and later reprised that role for the Avengers Assemble and Iron Man and Captain America Heroes United cartoons. The Taskmaster, he's a villain that's even been referenced in music, like so.
The king, it's never been as obvious as now. Only tracks Taskmaster was copying my style.
Now let's get this out of the way first. In an actual fight, the Taskmaster, he's got Sage's number, no problem. I mean, the man has his own training academy where he not only makes good money, but trains fledgling criminals in martial arts and weaponry before sending them off as henchmen for other organizations like Hydra, AIM, the Secret Empire, Ultimatum, and many more. But Sage, she's got other abilities too, ones that give her an advantage over the Taskmaster, who has some unique limits of his own. But since she appeared first, let's start off with Sage. Sage is a mutant whose power is a highly developed psychocentric power template that gives her an enormous capacity for psionic abilities, as well as absorbing, storing, and retrieving information. Originally, the only overt display of superhuman powers that she demonstrated was telepathy, possessing the full range of standard telepathic abilities. She could read the minds of people in her vicinity and arrange communication between herself and other people psionically, create illusions to disguise or alter the environment, take full mental control over another person's thoughts and actions, render other people unconscious, project her astral form in order to explore the astral plane, etc. After encountering the dangerous mutant telepath known as Elias Bogan, however, Sage was marked by him, and in order to escape his psychic touch, she caused her telepathic powers to fold in on themselves. This effectively disabled any active telepathy by her, but it also had the beneficial side effect of rendering her phenomenally resistant to psychic detection and probing. Sage's mind from then on emitted a reflective effect that turned other psychic abilities against them if they tried to attack her. Thus, a psychic blast would mirror off of Sage's mind and strike her attacker instead, or an attempt at mind control would end up allowing Sage to control her opponent's mind instead. After being imprinted with the godlike knowledge of the omniversal goddess known as Roma, Sage's full telepathy returned. She later began demonstrating other powers, such as flight, before ultimately merging with the Panopticon, a sentient transdimensional observatory in the form of a crystal. She lost her human form in the process, and from then on, she began existing as a being of pan-dimensional cybernetic energy as part of the Crystal Palace, operating as a matter-energy projection able to change appearances at will, fly, pass through barriers insubstantially, as well as possessing cosmic awareness and her mental connection to the reality-scanning supercomputers of the Panopticon. Combining the Panopticon with her computer-like mind, she can record, analyze massive amounts of data at blinding speeds, but she eventually reverted back to her full human state. Another part of her power set is that she has a photographic memory, kinetic memory, and total recall. She perfectly remembers everything that she has ever seen or heard, and can exactly duplicate any physical movement or action that she has seen or done before, within the limits of her physical body, that is. Sage can analyze body language in order to predict what an opponent's next moves will be, allowing her to anticipate and counterattacks in combat almost instinctively. Her computer-like mind enables her to analyze situations and conceive of highly elaborate and efficient battle plans and strategies. Sage's capacity for analysis also extends to a genetic level. Yes, she is able to visually probe living beings and determine what, if any, genetically enhanced attributes they possess. She can not only detect mutants and latent mutants, but her analyses also enable her to determine the mutant's full range of potential and possible capabilities. Using her jumpstart power, Sage is capable of activating any potential capability in a mutant's genes. She can temporarily increase mutant power levels, boost a mutant's control and finesse with their powers, and even cause latent mutant abilities to permanently rise to the surface. Taskmaster. The man who would one day become the Taskmaster was biochemically enhanced by a mnemonic primer, an experimental serum which opened his mind to rapidly assimilating new skills and abilities. This gave him an ability that's most commonly referred to as photographic reflexes. Through observation, the Taskmaster can break down any form of simple or complex action and imprint it onto his implicit muscle memory. He can duplicate any physical action that he sees, including playing a musical instrument, preparing a gourmet meal, performing rope tricks, etc. However, his skills are limited to what he can see. He can mimic the ability to play the piano, but not know how to read sheet music. For example, watching somebody play Beethoven's Second would never allow him to play Beethoven's Ninth. The Taskmaster has mastered the fighting styles of numerous superheroes and villains through personal contact or by watching videos of them in action. Short exposure to their skills allows him to mimic specific moves, but extended observation has enabled him to perfectly duplicate their entire set of movements, attacks, and counterattacks as one smooth fighting style. As a side effect of his studies, the Taskmaster can predict and reflexively defend against the attacks of anyone he has observed in depth. He has also mastered the skill of breaking down a fighting style after he intuitively learned it, enabling him to manually teach the style to his students at his various academies. The Taskmaster is limited by his human physique in some cases. For example, he cannot duplicate the Iron Fist or Spider-Man's more elaborate leaping and bouncing. He can assimilate and map techniques onto his reflexes that are beyond his physical capabilities, but he can't fully mimic skills that require a superhuman physique to accomplish. He has accelerated his reflexes to near superhuman speeds at times by mimicking techniques by video while watching them on fast forward, but attempting to force his body to move that fast is extremely unhealthy and quickly exhausts him. He was also able to assimilate Redshirt's Shi'ar Avion physique-based fighting style to predict his moves and mimic at least some of his actions, but not all of them. In his original costume, the Taskmaster employed a variety of weapons patterned after those used by superheroes, letting him combat them with their own moves. This included duplicates of Captain America's shield, Daredevil's billy club, the Black Knight's sword, Hawkeye's bow and arrow, the Punisher's guns, etc. Later on, he adopted a tactical bodysuit equipped with an image inducer for holographic disguises, a standard set of handguns and swords, and photonic weapon systems in his gauntlets that could generate energy-based shields, size, and even webbing. The Taskmaster was briefly able to augment his abilities through a procedure enabling him to outright mimic superhuman powers by observation, but this modification quickly faded away. Eventually, the full side effect of the Taskmaster's powers were revealed. The implicit muscle memories that he has assimilated over the years have largely overwritten his explicit memory. His personal history, childhood, and so forth. He may be able to perfectly identify someone's accent down to the country and region, but he can't remember if he himself has ever personally been there. These personal memories still exist within his mind, but are buried deep within his subconscious most of the time. Learning new skills with his power buries any further memories that he has developed since the last use of his powers. In the Taskmaster, he makes his way through life using a combination of reflexive actions and the guidance of his wife, Mercedes, who poses as a representative of the org, of the organization that gives the Taskmaster his assignments. Beyond that, he apparently relies upon elaborate bluffs and acting to make it through his very existence. The Taskmaster has the power to intuitively duplicate moves, not intuitively counter them. With normal opponents, he can learn their fighting style so perfectly that he can recognize what they're doing and anticipate what they'll do next. But the anticipation aspect is not part of his photographic reflexes. It's just a side effect of being intimately familiar with his opponent's moveset. Now, with somebody like Deadpool, the Taskmaster can still duplicate any set of moves that Wade performs, but because Deadpool's fighting style is so insane and chaotic, the Taskmaster cannot predict what he's going to do next. Now, characters like Finesse, who claims to be the Taskmaster's daughter, Echo, and even Monica Dawson from the NBC TV series Heroes, they all possess the power of photographic reflexes and work in a similar manner. Practically speaking, Taskmaster, Monica Dawson, and Echo, who also now has the Phoenix Force, they have identical abilities. Although the Taskmaster, his difficulty maintaining long-term memories is unique to him. Now, the sole outlier here is Finesse. Not because she claims to be the daughter of the Taskmaster and inherited his abilities, but because she's also a polymath. She has an advanced mind and intuitive learning abilities. Unlike the Taskmaster, Finesse actually possesses a more general intuitive learning capacity beyond photographic reflexes. She has an eidetic memory and can rapidly assimilate other skills that are both purely cerebral in nature and cannot be learned through observation. She's self-taught in various languages, computer hacking and programming, lip reading, etc. She is phenomenally observant, able to interpret body language for mild behavioral cues, recognizes datum and patterns that would typically escape the notice of others. Now, somebody with photographic reflexes, they would not know how to play the piano by watching someone else. At best, they would learn how to play the particular score that they observed. That's true of all the characters above, including Sage. Now remember, the Taskmaster's memory is biochemically primed to assimilate new skills through observation, so he's actually hardwired to absorb new information. Echo, Finesse, and Monica Dawson, they likely work in a similar manner. But Sage, she actually has a more difficult time conceptually. Because of how her power operates, her computer-like mind is consciously observing actions and movements, breaking them down, and extrapolating how to recreate those actions within her own physical form. The others, they duplicate physical actions intuitively, without thinking about it, while Sage, she has to learn how to do it consciously. Her computer-like mind enables her to complete the learning process so that it happens almost as quickly as the intuitive process does for the others. To apply a metaphor, it's like if there were two routes to get to a destination, but one of which is longer than the other. Taskmaster, Finesse, Echo, and Monica Dawson, because of how their power operates, they get to take the shortcut. Sage, because of how her power works, she has to take the longer way around. But because she's driving faster than the people that are on the shortcut, she reaches the destination at the same time that they do. Like I said before, in an actual fight, the Taskmaster got her number. But Sage, she wins. I mean, yeah, like I said, he can beat her fair and square. Anything goes, but anything goes though? She can use her telepathy to screw with his already fucked up memory and turn his powers against him somehow. Yeah, and she's a smart, silent type. Yeah, the Taskmaster, he won't be anticipating that. Okay, that's what I got for this week, folks. Next week, I'm going to be doing a mutant metamorph comparison. That's right. And tell you who I'm going to be comparing. No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you observe. But have a good week, folks. See you then. Later.
Mansion, apartment.
Shack, house. Yes!